Pardon?
You might have been out of everything to say. You've talked for a long time.
Yeah, no, but I've had a break, and I'm not used to having a break. I'm used to being sat there. It was like last year when we were at ECAM. I can't believe it's a year ago, Alison and Anthony.
I know. It was fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah. So we're live in what feels like the 100th hour of Micro Bizmatters Day. Are you getting feedback? Is somebody getting... Right. Is it me? Is it me? Is it still getting feedback? Nobody else can talk. Anyway, it's all right. Let me just say this is like my whole hour all on my own, but it's fine. We'll sort it out. I'm sure there's a reason for it. I've just been over on my own page on Tina Bowden Micro Business Specialist trying to do an interview with somebody, and that's all gone wrong as well. So, but to get to 1 minute past 2 in the afternoon before we have a technical hitch is absolutely fine. This is our, I don't know what hour we're in, however many we've been going. It feels like the hundredths. It's been a strange one because I'm used to being in an event with loads of people around me and lots going on and comings and goings from the studio, and I'm sat at home on my own, and yeah, so it's like a normal day in that sense, but I've got lots and lots of people joining me. So it's been a whole year, Anthony and Alison, since we were at, I can't unmute you, you've got to unmute yourselves, since we were at EKM.
Yeah.
A whole year.
Oh my goodness, it's gone so quickly. Two-thirds of it.
I know. And so tell us a little bit. We were obviously at EKM in this amazing space with that wonderful slide, and there was a picture of me coming down it and me calling the caterpillars at the end. And Jen confessed yesterday that she didn't actually know that Colin the caterpillar was a thing until we came to Preston last year. I mean,
the caterpillar. I didn't know it was called Colin.
Everybody needs a Colin the caterpillar for the birth.
They do. I might get another one tomorrow. So anyway, yeah. So tell us about EKM, your amazing space, and how many staff you normally have there.
Well, we normally have about 80 odd, isn't there? And like I said, this time last year, I think, how many people came to Micro Bizmatters? About 100 or something.
No, more than that. It's nearly 200. It was about 150 to 200 people.
Yeah, in the building that we had this time last year. And then, obviously, since March, the building's been empty. So the building's empty now. It's been empty since March. They've got this massive, 28,000 square foot building. It's just cold, damp. Well, it's not damp, actually, because we have to turn air conditioning on because it was getting damp. Bit depressing, really, when you go to office. It's really sad.
I've seen because Alison and I are sort of connected. We communicate normally on Instagram, and I've seen 1 or 2 takeaways with the kids at the office, and they've got like the run of the place. So.
Yeah, but that's all we can use it for, isn't it, really? We've been going to check for leaks and things and stuff like that, normal admin things. And yeah, the highlight of the year's been going to like Nando's and going eating it back at the office. It's like, that's about as much use as it gets. And letting the kids go outside.
Oh my goodness gracious. Did you imagine when you were like fighting to get the permission to build it, that was what it was going to be used
Well, no,
for?
I think if you'd known, you wouldn't have invested so many millions into a building, would you? I mean, the saving grace, though, has been obviously for us as an online business, is that we've just adapted straight away to working from home, and there's been no noticeable difference. If anything, productivity is actually up. And the other thing that's been amazing, really, is that the whole team at EKM, they've been helping tens of thousands of businesses around the UK to actually get through this and actually trade online. And even today, I was just checking the figures before this, even today, it's up 55% on this time last year in terms of online retail. And
oh my God.
The fact that we're helping people to get through this and not even just get through this, actually thrive. Because anyone who's adapted to online, and I know not all businesses can, I know you've been speaking to many today that have and haven't, we've helped that many people to get online, and they've actually thrived and had the best years ever. Do you know, because this is the only time in our lifetimes, hopefully, that you'll never have to compete with the high street. You know, for a retailer, an independent, which tend to be micro business. You know what I mean? That's who they are. These people, they're not having to compete with your John Lewis, your Debenhams, who are no longer here. All these big companies. This is the best time ever for micro businesses to be able to compete against the high street, and to have been part of that.
Yeah,
it is amazing. Yeah, I'm so proud of the team and everyone who's done that. It's been phenomenal. So it's not all doom and gloom. It isn't all doom and gloom. It really isn't.
No, and I think what we've tried to, before we go on, do you want to just explain who EKM are and what we do?
What we do? Well, we help people set up online shops. So we're effectively a bit like a shop landlord, except instead of renting them out on the high street, we rent them out on the internet. So if you now are a small business, maybe making things and selling them normally at a stall or something, you'd maybe go to our website and we'd rent you a shop that goes onto the internet. And we work with everyone from micro businesses, one-man bands, all the way up to multinational companies like the BBC and things like that. So it's a big spectrum, and we've helped grow businesses as well, haven't we? From that, we've grown a lot of businesses from micro businesses all the way up to employing hundreds of people, which is just phenomenal, really.
Yeah, and I think it is. And I mean, I've used EKM as a user, and I really like the product as well. So and I like the people that built the business. So all is good with the world, and that's what this is about. It's about. I mean, I think a lot of businesses. This is the Your Business and You session, and it's like my chosen subject. If somebody said to me, "You're going on Mastermind, Tina, and you've got a chosen subject," and it would be micro businesses or Your Business and You, because it's about the well-being of the business and the business owner, and actually how one impacts on the other. And the fact that you've been able to help some of those micro businesses that couldn't even see the wood from the trees, weren't online, weren't doing any of that, you've actually helped them to continue. Because if the well-being of your business is not great, the well-being of you is not great. And if the well-being of you is not great, the well-being of your business is not great. And anybody that wants to argue with me about that, I will stand and argue with them till the cows, donkeys, or whatever else it is comes home, because it is a fact. And actually last year, and I spoke to Duncan the other day, and we were talking, and I was telling him I'd had an operation and I'd been out of action, and I had this operation on the 26th of November, and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't lift. I couldn't, and I couldn't drive. All the stuff that I do, I'm used to doing, like going 100 miles an hour, and I'd been told that I had to sit on a settee for 2 weeks. Hello, and I couldn't focus on trying to do anything with the business. I was in pain. I couldn't, all of that. And that was a short-term thing. But people that are constantly going through that, it's really, really hard. And I think that's the beauty of what you've been able to do. You've been able to give that positive angle and help people continue. And that will have had an amazing positive effect on their well-being. Duncan, you do a lot with people, don't you? And help people become confident with their speaking. And you just tell us who you are and what you do.
Hello, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name's Duncan Lewis, and I run a business called Eagle Eye, Eagle with a letter I on the end. And we are a micro business, and we essentially help people to communicate their spoken messages more effectively and to present the best version of themselves. And before March of last year, all of our work, of course, was face-to-face, running bespoke workshops, training and development workshops. And since March of last year, like so many people, I've adapted, and the business has adapted, and we now run everything online using a variety of video platforms. And it's worked really well. So for our regular clients, repeat business clients, they need to keep improving what they're doing, keep improving their messages. And for new clients that have come on board, they realize they can't stand still and that they have to up their game. And so using Zoom or Skype or Teams or whatever the platform, then people have to use it effectively to communicate their messages. And that's what we do.
Jolly good. And I've had the pleasure of working with Duncan through a number of different things. We both sat on the board of a social enterprise together, didn't we? And I've known Duncan for quite some time, and Jay, his lovely wife. And and he lives in Scarborough as well. So hey, big up the Scarborough people.
Indeed.
So Louise, it's lovely to meet you. We've not even had the pleasure of being introduced. So please do tell us who you are and what you do. I seem to be getting darker and darker as the day goes on. This is what happens when you ask your husband if you can have your lounge decorated, and then you go into a national lockdown. So you move all the stuff out of the very bright room into the darker room, and you now find yourself having to deliver an online event all day from a dark room. Anyway, we're fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I've had to invest in a ring light. So I've got the ring light in front of me and found that lights up.
So I've got a ring light, but it's on my camera and it's glaring in my glasses and I can see it. And it's first world problems.
Sounds like you need coaching.
Tell us who you are, Louise, and what you do.
So I'm Louise. My business is Your Marketing Specialist. So some of the stuff that Anthony and Alison and Duncan are doing, I'm just like, oh, it's great, because I help people with the marketing, so doing the social media and the email and trying to get people into the business, whether that's a physical business or an online business. And so it's really interesting to kind of plug into that online shop system, because I think it's been a real challenge for people who have had a physical presence and have moved online, but as a small business maybe don't have either the money to invest in the technology or the skill themselves to do the technology. So I've seen a lot of people struggle building their own website. So I definitely want to hook up with Anthony and Alison, because I think that is just, I know you said you're not competing on the high street, but you're competing with the internet. So actually, if you don't have a good social media presence, if you're not being found in Google searches, if you're not keeping in touch with your customers on email, then it's really hard. Like, it's really easy to get lost in the noise from the bigger players who've been able to switch online, or who've got the technology and they can invest in the platforms to do it quicker. And kind of going to what Duncan was saying, the confidence as a small business owner, if you're the person showing up on social media, having the confidence to just join in something like this with people that you've never met before and come on as a speaker, or to be interviewed, or to show up on your own social media, if you don't have that confidence behind what your business is and who you help and what you stand for, I think that's really important as well as a small business owner.
It is, and I know Anthony would agree with you, because I just thought you'd been to the Anthony Chesworth School of Marketing, because actually talking about social media and all of that stuff, if you have seen any of his vlogs, blogs or anything, it's like so important. We've been talking about this today a lot. We've been talking about different aspects of it. We've been talking about having a profile out there, and if you're not out there, if you're not using the free tools, it's actually, and again, yeah, I get social media can be a drain. I get it can be a drain on us as individuals. I get it, but you've got to. Viv Parry, the first session, well, no, not the first session. The first session this morning, Jen was the weather girl down on Scarborough Seafront and stayed there for an hour. I lasted 3 minutes because the weather was so pants and I had to be on Radio York and there was no signal. It was blowing a hoolie around my head. And anyway, but the session after that, we had Viv on, and Viv was talking about actually not as much picking your fights, but picking. One thing that this last year has taught is to choose what you want to get involved with. And it's like social media. Skirt past it. Don't get drawn into it. Do the positive stuff that you can for your business and move on. Don't get drawn into the negative stuff.
And pick one platform and do it really well. So the biggest thing that I see that causes the most kind of frustration and overwhelm and time suck is people think they've got to be everywhere. So they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, then they think they've got to get on Pinterest, and then Clubhouse has just launched, and what about TikTok and Instagram have got Reels? And if it's kind of like, right, your customers are on Facebook, you're competent and confident on Facebook, do Facebook really well, And then once you've got that like on a roll and you've got either customers coming in or inquiries coming in, then go and have a look at another platform and learn about it and explore on it. But don't try and do like all three all at the same time and be everywhere. Like you don't need to be everywhere. You don't need to do everything.
I would absolutely support that. I feel like this is a Facebook Anonymous meeting, and I should stand up and say, "Hi, my name's Duncan. I'm not on Facebook," because I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Instagram, and I do use LinkedIn a lot, and I do a lot of business through LinkedIn, and I'm also on Twitter. But interestingly, I chose those for exactly that reason, Louise, because my clients use LinkedIn and Twitter. So I have no need to go on or indeed to waste my time using other social media, but I use the ones that are relevant to the business.
Yeah, perfect.
So Jen, you support lots and lots of businesses. Tell us a little bit about Yorkshire and business. But you used to, I know you have your own business in as much as you're developing Yorkshire in business, but you used to have another business as well, didn't you? Aside of this, you had a
bridal shop with my mum. My husband's self-employed window cleaner. My whole family, about 90% of them are all self-employed. And my mum and dad have been self-employed my whole life. It's all I know, and that's why I'm so passionate about it. I mean, if we can't be passionate about it, how am I going to help my husband? I mean, he's the one who says, I need you to do my tax return, Jen. So we need to know this stuff. But what I wanted to say is, I mean, Yorkshire in Business have supported so many independent, local, small businesses throughout the last 9 months, and Louise has been a huge part of that. We've seen a massive increase in businesses just needing to engage and feel part of a community and not on their own, and that's been huge. People needing to feel that they're not going through this pandemic on their own, and actually learning the new skills has been key to helping them get through this. And Louise has put on multiple sessions, 2 a week, many weeks for us, helping businesses learn these skills. But I think what the businesses got out of it is networking with each other.
Yeah, and that support. And I know this is the business and you section, so whenever I host a training, I always hold a bit of space at the beginning to check in with people. So sometimes people might just want to share that they've had a bit of a rough day, or that they've got the kids at home, or and we've had it where sometimes people like, I can't be on camera because I'm just feeding the kids, or I'm just going to be on mute because the baby's crying and I don't want you to hear that, or I've got to dip out to pick the kids up from school, but then I'll come back on as soon as I get back. And it's kind of like, being flexible as the host and the trainer to say, right, let's do whatever we need to do to give you guys what you need, and holding that bit of space for people to settle in and get comfortable. We had people at the start who were nervous about showing their face on Zoom. So I just let them sit with the camera off, and we would talk in the chat if they didn't want to come on the microphone, and trying to engage people and get them in. And now people just kind of rock up, the camera's on, they're chatting, and it's been really great to see the confidence build, and the progress that people are making from that kind of community support, and seeing the same people. We had some people, they came to every single training, whether they needed it or not. And people would come and they'd learn, and they go, oh, that's great, I now know I don't need to invest my time or money in that's not for me. But they could come to the training, figure that out, be with their, I was going to say friends, it has got some like pockets of friendship groups, and some great collaborations have come as well. I know some people have gone and supported each other outside of the sessions, which is really lovely.
Collaboration is really important, and I mean, it's a little bit what today is all about. It's about that helping hand, and I think there's a lot of things come out of today. The big thing for me is all about keeping it real, but I'm a huge believer in that anyway. I'm a huge believer in actually saying it how it is, and understand it, understand. We don't have to put on this front. We shouldn't have to put on this front. We should be able to keep it real. We should be able to say, actually, not doom and gloom, but I'm not feeling great today. On the ladies over lunch session, we were all talking about what the thing was that sort of got us out there. And mine's ironing, a half an hour of mindfulness, a pile of mindfulness. I actually enjoy it. and also going out for a walk. But Naomi was saying that some days the thing that keeps her going is just the fact she's managed to get out of bed. She gets through the day. She's got 2, teenage kids at home. I know that Alison and Anthony have got the kids at home and they've been homeschooling. And I know Jen has with Harry. And I just think it's like, who on earth, if we'd have been at EKM last year and said, this is what's going to happen. This is great. And it was such a brilliant event. And we were all like, right, next year we gave Jen the red guitar, and they didn't see the red guitar this morning, Jen, when you were down on the beach. We gave Jen the red guitar. There we go. We're now staying in Scarborough. And, but it's like, who would have known? And in amongst all of that, trying to keep your business going, trying to change it into something different, trying to sort of take it online, you're also going to have to learn to be an expert at homeschooling. You're going to have to work from the same table that you eat your dinner off and you have your breakfast off. So you're going to have to put your dishes to one side. And the fact that so many people need human interaction to keep them going anyway. And not even, don't get me wrong, we've been hip and trendy. This is our 7th year of being hip and trendy, Tony and I. I mean, my God, who would ever thought we would be trendsetters? But online events were what we did. But actually, we need to be out. I love the fact with this that I'm actually seeing a real person. And I'm a people person. And it's driving me mad not seeing people. I'm sick to the back teeth of talking to the same people physically.
Everyone's like that, aren't they? It's just been, but I've seen quite a lot of business owners, I'm sure you have, Jen, in like the lives where they're actually going into the businesses and showing you around the stock or the stores that they've got, and really adapting the businesses to the challenges that we've got. We've got a really good community, haven't we? Again, like a lot of you, where sharing the problems, they're sharing the good times, they're sharing the bad times. And it makes a massive difference. But yeah, you're right. I think we are all sick to the back teeth with staring at a screen and not actually seeing people in real life.
Mine's seeing my own face. Like, I'm fed up of seeing my own face, because every time you do anything on camera, it's like, I can just see me. Like, I don't want to see myself anymore.
Louise, you shouldn't be looking at your face. Of course, you should be looking at the camera lens.
I know, but yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying to look at all of you guys. So I'm like trying to do like eye contact with whoever's speaking, but I'm like, I can still see. I still know that's me.
I think I just would say on a very serious note, Tina, picking up on your very relevant point, as you know, and Jen knows, I've just written a book, and the book is all about.
Show us the cover. Everybody else that's written a book today has shown us a copy of it. Where's your book, Duncan? Oh, it just so happens over in this corner. Duncan's book. Speak out. Thank you.
And the point is, the reaction has been fantastic, but the point about it is that it's all about communication. It's about my approach and what we do with our coaching. But the key theme of it, running right the way through, picking up on your point, Tina, is authenticity and being authentic and finding a way to be authentic in everyday communication, both at work and at home. And as I say, to pick up on your point, I think a lot of people, for a whole variety of reasons, are very fearful of being truthful, are fearful of being genuine, are fearful of being authentic. And the book hopefully gives some practical tips on how to address those things. But I think it's a big thing for a lot of people. In a former life, as you know, again, and I worked with Jen for a long time, I was a business advisor. And a lot of business advisors, never mind running the business and all the practical things you need to be aware of running a business, but it can be very lonely, as you know, particularly if you're a micro business, it can be very lonely. And a lot of business owners just needed their hand holding. And they needed the confidence to give them that actually they're doing all right, they're doing well, We need to take some steps to develop, but, you know, keep going. And it's all part of this. It's all part of this growing confidence, I think, and growing almost self-respect that people need to have and to develop. And so while I agree with you, Tina, you're absolutely right. I also don't have a lot of time for those people, but I think we have to be aware, I think, particularly during COVID, particularly during lockdown, a lot of people's confidence is really, really important.
Yeah, and I can hear that echo again. Can you all hear that echo again? I agree. The mental health issue, which is why this subject for me is so important, because the mental health issue is massive. And I think no matter how much we are as motivators, which we are in this group, we are a group of we're used to motivating people, whether it's staff, whether it's businesses or whatever. There comes times when actually, you know, we're drained, our well has run dry. And when we talk about well-being, it's actually how do we refill that well and what do we have to do? And it's okay to walk away, and it's okay to, you know, not have to get involved, and it's okay to do that stuff. And that we have to prioritize. And I think from that, and I think it's also not having to prove ourselves, which as micro business owners, I think if we take and business owners, I mean, I look at what Anthony and Alison have achieved with their business and what they've been through. And it, you know, it's not an easy ride. And my brother and sister-in-law, who Rebecca was on with me earlier, and what they've been through. But I think from a micro business owner point of view, it's about us understanding what we do. It's a bit like Louise saying, picking our platforms that we're going on, understanding what we do, understanding what we do well, having the confidence to go out there and say, this is what we do, this is what we do well. So we can be authentic, we can be real, and actually we can then become more real. That's not good English, is it? But, you know, we can become more real about what we do. And there's lots of things I know I shared, I commented on something on LinkedIn that I think it was Jason Costello had written. And I don't know if any of you know Jason, but Jason is a fabulous guy. Check him out on LinkedIn. He used to be corporate fundraiser for Martin's House. And Jason and I have got to know each other really well through his charity work and the stuff that he's done. But he'd written something about on LinkedIn about reaching out to people and actually men and being more confident and men being open and saying, I'm not okay. And it's okay to not be okay. And I'd said, this needs to be said on LinkedIn. And one of the reasons for that is because a lot of the people that are on LinkedIn and the LinkedIn police are male people who feel they've got to dominate. And actually, I actually tagged Duncan, Tony, and a number of other people that I believe, and Anthony comes into this, and I actually have a list of about 15 men who I believe would be great men to be in business with, or to do business with, or to talk to. And that is because they are honest and open and understand business, but also about how you can be more open and honest in what you do. And
the problem with social media, though, Tina, is the majority of it, when you go through your newsfeed, is bullshit.
Yeah,
it's all. But you go through your Instagram, it's touched up photos of people living their perfect life that is not real. None of it's real. All these influencers that are living the dream haven't got a pot to piss in. They've got no money. And so people are basing their lives on them. You've got on LinkedIn, you've got all the LinkedIn brigade that are posting how good their businesses are. Again, I haven't got a pot to piss in. I've got a clue about business. They've probably read Business Studies 101, and then they're a mentor or a business expert. So all of it is bullshit. And people get wrapped up in these. Oh, look at this guy! He's an expert. I must subscribe to his mentorship program. I must subscribe to his £10,000 sales training, and it's all bollocks. but people buy into it, and then they feel bad because their business isn't as good as theirs. But well, this guy's driving a Lamborghini. The majority of people on Facebook and Instagram have Lamborghinis. They don't have Lamborghinis. They don't have Lamborghinis. No, there's not that many Lamborghinis that exist. You know what I mean? It's all bollocks, but people buy into it.
Anthony, I'm glad you got that off your chest. I just wanted to add something and say, picking up on Tina's point again, the issue is, Tina, that for me, people in this session now are, I get the impression, we're all pretty confident, pretty self-assured people, and we're real. And we're authentic and we are genuine. And thank you, Anthony, for sharing that. And I get what you're saying, but for so many people, they do lack the confidence. And this is the issue. I know, Jen, you see people every day, people who...
Thank you, William. Sorry.
Who want to start in business, who just lack the confidence. And so we need to find a way, I think, they are also very genuine people, or some of them are. We need to find a way of giving them the confidence and the self-belief in what they want to do.
And actually back to what Anthony said about and what William's just picked up on about the business advisors. And you were a business advisor for a long time, Duncan. And I've, mentored and supported people. So I had Rianne on this morning, who makes the flat caps. And I mentored her for a lot of years, and still she calls me her business mum. And she said that through all the different things that she's done, she has actually had an awful lot of mentors. She's been in different workspaces and done different courses and everything. And she said, and the only one that actually understood that she was a single mum and that she had kids to deal with, and she might arrive at an event late because one of the kids was sick or she had to find out whatever, was me. And all the other ones that she'd had, she found they didn't actually understand business because they'd never run one. And I think that is something, and more over the last 2020, as you say quite rightly, Anthony, you go on LinkedIn and you look, and I'm a business coach, I'm a mentor, I can do this for you, I can do that for you, and you say to them, oh, and how many businesses have you run? Oh, well, I've got my own consultancy business and this is what I've run. It's bollocks.
Yeah.
And it's actually
when your primary income is from helping other people set up a bit, it's nonsense, isn't it? Like I'm a business expert. How do you make your money? I teach you how to be a business expert. It's like that. If that's your primary income source, there's something wrong with it. Yeah, it's like a paradox, isn't it? It's like something Back to the Future. It's like there's something not right with it. It's like, well, you've got to have proven that you've made a successful business. Otherwise, how can you tell me how to make one?
And the other thing that I get is sorry, Louise, that I'll just get this off my chest and then we'll be all right. Anybody that knows me, don't stop me now. I'm having a good time. The thing is as well is what Duncan was saying about people's confidence and giving them the confidence to build the business and everything else. Because if we're not real when we are helping those, I mean, let's look at the startup. Enterprise Nation holds a startup event every year, and they normally do it. Well, a few years they've done it after us on the next Saturday. So we've had a Microbiz Matters Day, then Enterprise Nation have done their startup day, and it's been in London. But if it's not real people giving confidence in that startup advice, then those people aren't going to have the confidence within themselves to be able to go and do it. And if you don't go somewhere like Yorkshire in Business, where they are real people and they know what they're doing and they've got real advisors, then it's not going to happen. It's going to be absolute bullshit, because they're going to then take an EKM, start an EKM shop and think that they're going to be the next, God knows, Instagram influencer. And I was talking to somebody the other day who said they'd been somewhere, and well, they were on holiday, and I'm not going to say where, and I'm not, because I'll end up saying who they are, and I don't want to. But they were around these people who were Instagram influencers, and apparently going to Dubai and taking. Oh shit! I said where she'd been. Anyway,
I think we all know everyone's been in Dubai, don't we?
And posting them on Instagram with all filtered. Apparently, if you're an influencer, that's a business. absolute. Anyway, I've got that off my chest. Louise, what did you want to say?
Yeah, so I've got a mini rant too. But I mean, on that, the trend now is for genuine and authenticity. So the real people out there like us and our consumers are looking for the real. My brother showed me some online dating stuff, and all the girls have got filters, and he's like, I just want to see what they look like. I just want a real girl, you know. So I think we're coming to the end of some of that fakeness. But my mini rant touches a bit on what Anthony's saying. But it's that people who have built a business and they've done it in a specific way, then they want to train people in that way. So it's come and join my program and I'll show you how you can make $10 million doing it this way. And I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't work for everybody. So it'd be a bit like you selling your shop system and going, but it only works if you do it this way. It only works for like this particular shop. And as soon as you bring a different industry in, it's like, well, now you need to do something different. And well, actually, if you're a single mom, then you might need to run your business a slightly different way because you've got different time constraints and when you can work, and you might not be able to go live at 2 p.m. every day. And, you know, helping people to think that there's a way of doing business your way that doesn't have to be the way that somebody else teaches, because that's the way that worked for them. So that's my mini rant.
And that impacts on people. So we're back to the same thing, because it's the impacting on people's personal well-being. All that impacts on their personal well-being, that then impacts on their business, and they start to question whether they're actually capable. Can I do this? What am I doing wrong? It's like all that rubbish, and that they say about the fact, you know, government, lifestyle businesses. I talked about this earlier on. You know, it's fine to have a lifestyle business. If you want to run a business, a micro business that fits around your lifestyle, or you want to make it into a lifestyle, or whatever it links to your lifestyle, then that's absolutely fine. Don't be afraid of it, because actually we're all running our own micro businesses for a reason. We all set about it in a reason. I'm running a micro business because nobody wants to employ me, because I'm unemployable, because I've been 30 odd years self-employed. I had a brief employed period and I was rubbish at it.
Tina, we know you're unemployable, but can I just say that I don't have a rant, because I thought that Anthony's rant was so good. I just left it to him.
Yeah, he's our rant man. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it sometimes we just have to get these things off our chest, and I think it's important that actually we have this. And don't you find, thank you, William Oxley. William Oxley has confirmed I am unemployable.
Yeah. It's tough as well. I mean, just to be serious again just for a second, it is tough as well, because when you generally do have a week, you know, you're feeling down, or your business is stressing you out, to have the balls to post that up in front of potential customers and your peers and all these really bullshits that are doing really well. That's really tough, because, like, I think people, when they set a micro business up, the stress and stuff, it's hard work, it's stressful. Everyone on this call's going through it, and everyone who's watching probably is. And I think people think, well, it'll be better when I am the influencer half naked on a beach in Dubai. It'll be better when I have got that Lamborghini. It'll be better, and it never gets any easier. It's still hard. It's still stressful. We have days when, you know, so stressful. I mean, I used to have a full head of hair. That's how stressful it is. But it really is. It's still stressful. And even when I've been putting out videos over the years, because I have like a YouTube channel and I put videos out of my day, there's been times when I've been filming them and you have that imposter syndrome feeling. And because you know that, like, oh my God, this is going wrong, that's going wrong, this is going wrong. And you've got that much stress going on. But yet you've kind of got to put this face on of positivity. Because that's what people want to see, and especially if you're a leader of a business, they want to see that positivity and that leadership. And it's really tough. It's really tough, to be honest, because of all the BS that's out there. It reinforces it. Like, I know it's on the news a lot, but you think about like young girls and stuff, and even young boys and stuff. The pictures that they're seeing, for them then to have the balls to put pictures of themselves up unfiltered, it'd be really scary. That's the same for business owners, to put out how you actually feel unfiltered. It's really difficult. So whether it's a picture or your feelings, it's the same, isn't it?
What can be really powerful though is, so if you don't want to share that, okay, this moment in time is really crap and I'm struggling with this, but that you can share it as a reflection. So once you've realized how you dealt with that and how you solved it, how you got yourself out of feeling like that, then you can share, okay, yesterday was a really bad day, it sucks and all these things went wrong, and this is then what I did to help myself. Because then you'll get people who will go, oh, I feel the same, I also had a tough day yesterday, or oh, I didn't think about doing that. So you're not just sharing the down, it's still got that positive.
Have I got time to make a final comment?
Yeah.
I have. Great. Anthony, please, I'll send you some of my hair. That's
Yes,
one thing I
please.
want to say.
You could have a whip round. You could do a whip round and I'll send it in to me.
I've
Yeah.
got some grey stuff.
Thanks very much. But you can't see the join, right? Okay. The thing is, the other thing, picking up on your excellent point, Anthony, I do want to say that in addition to running Eagle Eye, I have been a mentor for many, many years. And like Tina, I'm mentoring some people at the moment. But the other thing that I've been doing at no cost at all is just being to a couple of people, I don't know what you call it, a sort of accountability buddy, just somebody outside of the person's business and the person's life, just to bounce ideas off and to be an outside eye looking in. And I know those people have found that really, really helpful. So it's just something that I feel I'm in a position where I'm able to do that. And I think other people can get the benefit of that experience.
So we've got Ian Farrer. He's probably already doing his interview that he pre-recorded with Tony somewhere in another ether somewhere, because it was starting at 1440. But I want to say thank you so much to you all for being part of this. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I thank you. You're awesome. You all rock, which is why I all wanted you all in this hour. And Louise, it's been amazing to meet you. And let's get together again soon. So keep going, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.